What's up, guys? I am Daisho, and I'm here bringing you a new series of Call of Duty Black Ops. This series is called Breaking Down Bombs, and as you can see from here, the main object of this series is me showing you from a third-person perspective exactly what's going on with all my airstrikes and my semtexes that I'm going to throw over buildings and stuff like that. So the first one was just a nice little semtex that you can throw at the beginning of the game on Nuketown, especially Team Deathmatch, because everybody's just sprinting, and usually they wait until they get a little bit closer, but I actually threw that one over the entire building, and it ended up working out because I knew that the enemies would sprint in my direction. So I never put myself in danger of being killed by their grenades, and yet I was still able to get a grenade kill. So that's the only reason why that grenade is actually useful, because it's not always going to get you a kill, but I mean, you were able to pretty much see how it's useful. But the first main topic that I wanted to say was that I'm sorry if this isn't as good as you would have hoped, but this is my first time ever trying to do any sort of editing and ever use the theater mode for anything. So if there's anything that I do wrong, if there's a certain situation where you're just like, Daisho, this angle sucks, I mean, you really messed up with this one, then please let me know. I really want to know that kind of stuff so I can do a better job, because this is not going to be the only episode in this series unless it gets really, really bad feedback like, Daisho, we don't fucking care about that. Don't post this series up ever again. But I don't think that's going to be the feedback. I think this is a pretty cool idea, and I'm excited for it, and I'm excited to hear your feedback. So, a little bit earlier in the video, I threw up a napalm across the backyard, and it ended up getting me one kill, but then you could see that the enemy team spawned towards the front of the house rather than in the backyard where they normally spawn. The reason for that obviously is because the napalm was there and the game doesn't want to spawn them in the inside the fire. But the problem with that is it kind of messes up the spawns, and you don't want the enemy team ever spawning behind you, so you gotta make sure when you're calling in the napalms that you're not calling it in over their only spawn point. So, I mean, luckily it didn't completely flip the spawns, it just spawned them towards the front of the house, but it still was not really, it's not that good for us, and it could have been pretty destructive. But anyway, the next thing that I wanted to talk about was my killstreak setup this game. It is the spy plane, mortar team, and napalm. And that killstreak setup is obviously really good because you can use the spy plane to pretty much show you where the enemy is going to be, and then call in your napalm and mortar strike there. So I end up getting one kill with this mortar strike. I think I called one or two in the backyard, two of the little circles, and then the other one towards the Jeep area next to the bus. So if you guys don't know the mortar, if you've never used the mortar team, it basically gives you three little circles, and you just click all the circles and you get to and basically the game will shoot mortars near there. I think it's, I don't know, maybe it's like 2 per mortar thing, I don't really know. But here I think is, yeah, it's a situation where I call in a mortar team and 2 napalms, and I just realized going through it last time, well, I mean, basically, before I show you the top-down view, I'm just going to call in all of them and just going to show the whole thing. But I think I accidentally repeat some of the mortar team footage, so please just discount that. I'm sorry. But I'm telling you guys, I'm not perfect. This is my first time. Also had a pretty bad transition over there. But as you can see, this mortar team does nothing. The entire enemy team is in the building, and so yeah, right here it just repeats a little bit, and you see all 3 of them are going to spawn there again. It's not, I mean, they didn't spawn there. They only spawned there after my thing was gone. But here you can see me fail at using 2 napalm strikes. I got 0 kills with both of them, and the reason is most of the enemy team was in the building, and as you can see, one of my teammates just ran through their spawn, and I kind of fucked everything up. But basically, most of the enemy team was in the building, and I just thought that maybe the napalm would go through and somehow get them. On firing range that would work because the buildings are all like open, or there's huge open spots in them, but Nuketown, they're pretty covered, and it's really not a good idea to try to get the napalms inside the buildings. But what I could have done was call it on the paths on the side, because on both sides there was 1 person or 2 people. So you want to call the napalm in where you think the enemy will be running, not where they are. So, I mean, that sounds pretty obvious, but what you want to do is just find common paths and then just call your napalm over that, rather than try to call it where you think the enemy will be. So luckily I get a couple of blackbirds in this game, which is definitely really useful, especially when you're using this kill streak setup, because I mean, sometimes I just run spy plane. I mean, it's actually, I like it better, this kill streak setup, spy plane, napalm, blackbird, because if you don't get to the blackbird, you still get the spy plane to help you with your napalm, but if you do get to it, then you can just wait until your next life, call in the blackbird, call in the napalm, and then just go get another blackbird, because you already have your blackbird up, so it's pretty easy to get another blackbird. But here, I don't understand. The knifing range is just god-awful now. I was really close to that guy. Press knife, and you didn't lunge. So anybody who still complains about the knife range, I always just yell at them. But anyway, again, please leave in the comment section if you have any problems with this series, anything that I could have done better. The final score was 24-5, nothing really special, but I feel like it was a pretty interesting game to watch, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did, and I'll be sure to make more of this series. So have a nice day.